Okay. All right, this is going to be a demonstration for doing your cross contour line practice drawing. So, in class, I'm going to give you guys a worksheet to work on. So, basically, you're just going to draw the contour lines to make the shapes appear 3D. So, here's some examples of some outer contour lines of certain drawings. And, basically, we're just going to complete the drawing by making it 3D using some cross contour lines. Okay, so even before you get started, though, definitely do take a look at the examples on the Google Drive folder. So I don't have this set up on your canvas yet, but you guys will have a link, though, to Google Drive folder. And this is kind of like the approach that we're going to go with your cross contour line drawing. So I'm just going to kind of flip through these and explain it. So the goal with these lines that we're creating is, we're going to create interior lines within the drawing. So these could be horizontal, vertical lines, diagonal lines. But, we're going to like kind of look carefully and focus on like, creating 3D shape and form with the lines that we draw. So, there's not really any strict guidelines in terms of like how to draw the lines and where to go about with it. It's more so looking at and observing the object in more detail. So, there's really no like straightforward answer to it. The only thing I'll say though is, you incorporate, some vertical, horizontal, diagonal lines depending on like the direction of the object. But doing these different lines will help to create more 3D shape and form with your objects. So, I feel like with most people, that's just something we can always improve on is, thinking more about the shape and form of an object. And, kind of, making more like how that 3D look, then, it kind of creates more dynamics, more visual interest in the artwork. And then, it may carry over to like, actual drawings and stuff. Here's some examples where like carry over really well. Same thing with this right here. So you might be really focused on a lot of details on like the raspberry or certain fruits or things. But you think about like the shape and form of it though, that really helps to translate into like a more finalized drawing. So okay, so let me just show you guys what you're doing. So now this particular assignment though, it's gonna be a little bit more challenging just because you don't really have something to observe. It's really you're just kind of taking a guess. You're trying to figure out like the shape and form of what these things are. We have like a hand in a ball, a bottle. This one's a pepper, a pear, a cup. This was a really random organic shape. So, it's like most of these you're familiar with. Obviously this one's like you don't really know what that is. Okay, so I want you to just try your best today. Though this is just practice. I'm just gonna demonstrate a few things that you want to think about. So obviously we know this is a round shape and form for a ball. So, usually with balls though, it's usually like you kind of want to curve it around this way. So, and then you basically just could continue those lines on there. So, all we're doing is just trying to make things appear more three-dimensional. So, you're going to be doing lines here, there. So, we just create some horizontal lines. Now, if I wanted to even do like more vertical lines too, I can have vertical lines as well. So this will give it a little bit more of that shape and form. And, they kind of end in this middle axis right here. So, they're going to curve around like this. Oops. So this year I'm just doing all the drawings on the iPad, but it's about the iPad though. Procreate though is I can kind of mimic like the pencil look. So usually browns you want to think about like those lines like that. So that helps to create like the shape and the form. So this wrist though and the hand is a little bit more trickier. So you have to like kind of compartmentalize like things. So obviously like right here, we have like the this cylinder shape. Okay, and I know most of you guys are kind of familiar with like geometric 3D shapes. So think about everything in terms of like a 3D shape. Don't think about it in terms of like a flat rectangle like this. Okay, so that's like a no-no. Always think about 3D shapes. So, this part curves here. This is like the same thing. You want to just kind of continue those lines for like that curvature. So right here, you can continue those lines. And then if you want to, you could do like the opposite lines too. So, okay, so we have those shapes here. Same thing with like the fingers, these are more cylinder shapes. So I'm actually just gonna leave it like this though. I'm not gonna have any vertical lines. This is more thinner. You want to focus on like the curvature of like the fingers, the wrist, the hand, and other things. Kind of almost looks like Spider-Man in a way. So I wanted us to practice this just because this will help to think more about like shape and form 3D. This part's a little bit trickier, but yeah, definitely this part kind of curves out, and this part's like this right here. So this is a little trickier just because you're familiar with like the hand. There's like a part of the hand right here, and then there's like the other part where the thumb is. So that part's a little tricky, but that's how it's supposed to look if you were to do that in the 3D shape and form. Okay, so that's the hand. These other ones should be easier. I feel like the hand one was really hard. So same thing like here before. Think about the shape. So you have one shape that's like this right here. You have like a cylinder. So all you gotta do is just think about how to break down the shape. So you have one cylinder here, and you have like one that kind of goes like right here. It's almost like what they call a cone shape. And then it kind of breaks off into like another cylinder here. And then you have like multiple cylinders here. So if you're wondering what that shape is, that's what that is. So, same thing like before though, you're following the curvatures of it. So you'll do the same thing over here as well. Okay, so just, take your time, look at the shape. Okay, even before you draw it though, just think about what you're doing. Because, you can't just really just draw it. It's like you have to think about the shape and the form. And I feel like these contour lines, help out with that. So we got the lines here, there. If you want to, you can even do that if you want. So there's definitely different ways you can do the shapes and form. So if I wanted to make the bottle look see-through, this could be a different way I can do it as well. Actually, it looks a little more interesting that way too. Most bottles are like see-through anyways. So, and then if I wanted to add like another line here, I can do like one there. This goes on that way. This goes on that way. So this way, that way. Just to show like a little cross section of it. Okay. Okay, so I want you guys to continue with the shapes. These ones are pretty easy. The organic one, that one's a little bit more tricky, but I'm letting you guys try to figure that one out on your own. All right, so yeah, work on that. And then after you're done with this, because it won't take you the whole period to do this, I also want you to practice with the objects at your table. So, just pick one or two objects for the day, 2, 3 at most. Try to do at least one of them. But I want you to do like another drawing of it. So, I took some pictures of objects I want to draw. So you can just think about like in certain like, specific objects. So for like this example here, obviously this one's a bottle. So, I was going to draw this bottle here, and then I was just going to do the basket for this one. So let me just open up another document here. Okay, and then if you're at the blue table, or if you want to, you can take a photo of your object too. Either or is fine. Okay, so actually look at the physical object, because we're gonna do another still life drawing on a much bigger paper, but this time we're gonna do with like cross contour lines. So I do want you to actually practice with the objects at your table. When we actually do the project though, I may change and move around some of the objects a little bit, just so we can draw something different. But you want to just draw it. So Okay, so I'm actually gonna do this in red just to show you what I'm talking about. So, same thing like before though. It's a lot easier to see the shapes on here. So, see a cylinder shape here. This one's kind of a little bit more with a cone shape going on here. So, even before you begin drawing though, just take a look at the shapes. So this is actually easier to see because, you actually have like a physical object to look at. So the other, the first practice I had you guys do though, that one's actually a little bit more harder. This one's, a lot more easier. So, these objects are supposed to see through. So this is a little bit more rounder because of the angle on that. But, this is literally the general idea of like how you want to, do your shapes though. So, if I were to, actually can't move the image. So this is like kind of what you want to think about in terms of when you look at the bottle. So don't worry about the details. Okay, don't worry about the details. You just want to focus on just the shapes. All right. Okay, so if I were to draw this again, I'm just gonna do all this. Just move this over. I'm gonna just draw what I see. Move it this way here because I'm left-handed. So do this on the back of your paper. We could just save some paper since we're just practicing. So this one here, that pencil smaller. Okay. So I'm doing the same exact thing. So I'm just gonna draw the. It's up to you how you want to do. If you want to just do like the contours of the object, that works too. Or if you want to just start thinking about like the shapes already, because I know this one's got like a cylinder right here. So I see this like right here. And then I see another curve over here too. So I'm not worried about the details of the label right now. I'm just thinking about just the general shapes. And then there's like one more bigger curve like right here. Okay. So this really just teaches you like, the shape and form of objects. So, let's just say I wanted to draw like a bottle again, but from like memory. I didn't really want to draw from observation. Then, I know how to draw the bottle because I'm thinking about these shapes already. So, that's kind of like the end goal with, these still life drawings. It's nice to be able to draw what you see. But, I want you guys to be able to just kind of creatively just draw from memory at some point. So obviously that comes with like, practice and, time. So, if you look at it now, my bottle looks nothing like this one right here. So that's totally fine though. I'm just making sure to try to capture the shape of the bottle and the object. So, I can start adding more of the lines here. So I actually like doing like these little 3D lines. I think that's kind of fun to do. So this one's going to curve out this way right here. Let's actually do one of the curves where like the label is. Okay, so I'll do a few more down here. So I make it the bottle look translucent. That's why I'm kind of doing like these ovals. And then, you can kind of refine the lines, make it look nicer. So I'm not really worried about like, making the drawing match the picture. I'm just drawing what I see. And then, you see some of the lines on here. So you actually see some of the physical lines on the objects itself. So that's why I said it's probably easier to draw from like the objects. So, just practice with like one or two objects. So that looks pretty good. Okay. And then obviously you want to do some that are a little bit more elaborate. We'll do have like one more that's a little more elaborate. This one's with the this basket here. So obviously I'm not gonna draw everything on here. I'm just gonna do the basket. So just pick only one object. I wouldn't go like super crazy with the detail, but same ideas before though. We're just getting the general shape. So I definitely see like an oval happening like right here. So this oval shape. I'm not used to using the pencil like this, but I'm just going to continue that. So I'm just imagining it without the bottle itself, so it's going to be like that oval shape like this. And there's a little bit of a slip right here. So, okay, and then this part of the basket goes down like this. And I feel like this basket's pretty easy though, just because we see all of the lines already. So you can feel free to use that line as like a guide. So, there's some really interesting patterns right here going on in the basket. So I can try to do like those patterns within the basket. Actually, before we even go into the details, just get the general shape. So we definitely see like a little shape going on. So I'm actually not going to make it look see-through. So I'm just going to follow these lines here. And the same thing with like the inner part of the basket. We see like this part here, a little bit on the edge right there. This basket's gonna like kind of crawl this way. So we gotta make that part look 3D too. And then the inside of the basket you can't see, but there's definitely like a part where it's like kind of wrapping around this way. It's gonna be darker down here. And don't feel afraid to do some light and darkers as well. That can help out with the drawing. So we see like another. You kind of get the idea though. We're just drawing it out more. Basket here, and then if you want to, you can go into like more of the details. So obviously we see some lines here, hoping to create more like the 3D shapes. And then if you want to even go further, you can try to match some of the details on there. So this is like kind of going in this direction here like this. Okay, at this point you're just kind of drawing what you're seeing right now. Okay, but you kind of get the idea though. We're just gonna sketch it out more, just work on some of the more 3D shapes and forms. So I definitely want to see these lines that are kind of crossing with each other. And then at some point, in the direction, it may go in the other way. Okay, you kind of get the idea.